What is up? Welcome back to the CA Power Player Podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins, and today our special guest, before I bring him in, I want you guys to know this, okay? Which is really cool. They drove and ordered so many final expense leads and had so many responses come in that they actually have a ton of excess. And they have open access to a percentage of their excess direct mail leads. They're not really a lead vendor, right? They don't use it to recruit. They sell a ton of insurance, but they wanted to jump on and be like, hey, there's a new way to get discounted direct mail leads. Take advantage of our mistake, and you can jump on and click the link in the description to actually jump on Nick's calendar to talk about this. From Cardinal Senior Benefits, I've been super impressed by what they're doing. Please welcome Mr. Nick Dale.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having me on, man. I'm excited to get on here and go through how we do this with the leads and what kind of value we can provide.
I love it, buddy. And I do want to extract some value about the agency and what y'all do as well. But did everything I said in the introduction was technically accurate based around the leads?
Technically accurate. So kind of the technically accurate, except for the part about not recruiting people per se with leads. We have kind of put ourselves in a situation where we've had to before.
Yeah.
Because about a year ago, we had about 37,000 leads in inventory, all direct mail, and we had to figure out a way to get rid of those. So there was a couple things we did. We partnered with agencies to offer those to outside agencies. Agency owners could order those inventory that we already had in place. They don't have to drop for them or take that risk for them. Inventory we already had in place, and they could provide those with their own agents. And because we had so many leads in inventory, we also just had to recruit and find people to work those leads. So we went through 37,000 direct mail leads in inventory, which is $1.3 million worth of leads.
Woo!
And we had to go through all of it. We had to mow it all down. So we had to get very creative. And it just led to a lot of fruitful things for us. It led to new relationships with agency owners and an ongoing relationships where they're buying our brand new leads, our aged leads. And it also led to more recruiting systems put in place. And so now we just kind of have a standard where we have a little bit of excess always on hand that people can just kind of try us, try us before you buy. And you can basically just try out some leads at a discounted rate and see if you like the quality.
I love that. Yeah, it's a cool idea too, because there's direct. I mean, I was just with a gentleman at lunch a few minutes ago who was in town, and he's like, dude, I still like direct mail leads better than digital, and it still works. It's still king, and sure, do response rates go down every now and then? Yeah, dude, but it goes down with anything, when it's so it's cool. It's and it seems to be that's a huge driver of what y'all do. How long have y'all been doing this?
So the LLC, Cardinal Senior Benefits, was started about 5.5 years ago. I've personally I've been in the insurance, space, I guess, for about 13 years.
Wow, that's awesome.
But we really started building about 5 years ago, and it all started with direct mail. We've since, moved into digital, which are great. They all have their trade-offs.
Sure.
Digital, direct mail, all sorts of, telemarketing leads, kind of a little bit of everything. Mm-hmm. But direct mail, yeah, it comes with a little higher price, but it's the gold standard in the industry, for the senior market. For sure,
yeah.
The most consistent quality, and the shelf life is awesome. I mean, you can. So one of the first couple of people I recruited, which they didn't have any leads in place, and they just used my old leads, my old direct mail leads, and I actually had the next 3 people that I recruited use those same leads. Wow. And direct mail it has premium sitting there for years, on the same lead. So that handwriting is really powerful. I mean, you can't deny your own handwriting, although some people do. Some people still say, yeah, that is my handwriting, but that's not me. So it does happen.
What does that even mean? What does that even mean?
I don't know. I've had people where I've showed them their handwriting. I'm like, well, did you fill this out? And they're like, yeah, but I didn't do that. Or is this your handwriting? They're like, yeah, but I didn't do that. I'm like,
what? That's
okay.
amazing.
I guess someone's out here perfectly forging your signature.
And all the way that you write stuff perfectly. Yeah, exactly.
You know your date of birth. Like,
it's AI. It's AI.
It's lucrative. That's a lucrative market, you know.
That's lucrative marketing too. Y'all do mostly final expense, right?
Yeah, final expense. We've recently got into Medicare. I guess three enrollment periods ago, we got into Medicare,
Nice.
do a little bit of annuities, but our bread and butter has been final expense.
Yep. And your lead volume that's available, is that final expense and Medicare, all final expense?
All final expense. We don't have any excess Medicare.
Got it.
Unfortunately, we didn't get the returns we liked, but we're going to use them all. So, but it's pretty much all final expense. So, there's a lot of things we've done, especially with agency owners, where we can kind of white label leads for them. So for their own agents, it looks like it's coming from them. Like they have an inventory source that they're selling to their own agents, so we can white label leads. And then some owners, they just like to grab what they need for their team without us white labeling anything. They just grab it from us and then they distribute themselves. But sometimes agency owners just want an easy way to distribute another lead source, so we can white label their own form to where it looks like it's from that agency. We handle all the distribution of the leads. We get the leads out to them. And there's a contractual agreement put in place where we're not going to talk to your agents for anything other than fulfilling your orders. That's cool. So it's a really secure way to, we have an agency too, but we're not going to burn, relationships like that for a recruiter too. Yeah. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah. I respect that. Plus this business is a lot smaller than you think, you get a bad rep. Amen to that, bro. No doubt about it. Yep. It happens. It can happen easy too, to kind of tell your story a little bit. What kind of success did you have early in the business, and have you always focused on final expense? So early in the business, I worked with a company called Family Heritage, which is Aflac's not biggest, but they are a competitor to Aflac. And so I started out just not banging down doors with no leads. And so I naturally just started doing my research. I got into the final expense space. It checked all my boxes, really. Like all the things I hated about just knocking on doors and selling supplemental health was not here. It didn't convert over to final expense. Like there was leads, there was better commissions. You could set appointments, it's just all the things that I didn't like with just straight no leads, cold calling. It was a breath of fresh air. So, just 5 years ago, started out on my own. I worked with a group that had basically a training call, every Friday, and that was kind of your training. And then I eventually started bringing people on, and now our philosophy is kind of overwhelm people with support. It's a people business, right? So we always tell people that come and work with us, like err on the side of over communication with your upline, with your management team, with your lead coordinator, whatever it is, your licensing person. Err on the side of over communication, and call as much as you can. Annoy your upline. It's the only way that you're going to learn through osmosis with these people. True. And we can always tell if somebody's not going to do well in the final expense business is if we don't hear from them on a very regular schedule and a lot of it, we can pretty much tell within the first week that they're not going to work out.
Wow.
Communication is the key. Like, if there's not a good cadence of communication, it's like, we see the writing on the wall. And so we can only encourage somebody to communicate with us at a high level so much, so.
Yeah, that's really good, actually. How often would you say is like a good cadence if you're a new agent?
Oh, gosh. I mean, so my business partner, Pedro Vega, is actually right here in the room with me.
Pedro.
I would say he's the poster child for how to do it right. So he was one of the first people I recruited. And I remember looking at my phone one night and counting the number of communications that we had. And it was like probably 60 throughout the day. Now that's extreme, right? That's a little extreme. But he was up to speed in no time.
He's still here.
It was like he knew everything I knew in like 2 months. That took me 2 years, because it was that relentless communication about maybe a competing carrier, an underwriting issue, a close that didn't go well, or something he could have said different, an objection. Like it just like absorbed information up to speed. So I would say between text and phone calls, it was probably in the 50s or 60s. But I mean, that's probably extreme. But I mean, a healthy amount is like in each house and after to digest the situation.
That's great. That's actually more than I thought you were going to say, but it makes sense, because if you're doing that, you're showing that you really want to get better and that you're coachable and that you're listening, and like, you know what I mean? It just shows that you believe in mentorship along the way too, which is like so crucial in this business. That's why so many people fail, is they just don't do that, Dude, I like what you guys are doing. You've got a cool shop. I've enjoyed getting to know you. It's crazy. You have so many excess final expense direct mail leads, which is crazy. So what's the process like if they're like, okay, I like what I'm hearing. You guys seem like cool dudes. You're very open and transparent about what you got going on, and the contractual agreement that you won't recruit someone's agent, if they refer them to buy leads is cool. How does this work? So the links below, they jump on the calendar, and that is to have a conversation or be able to see the lead flow, or like, what's that look like?
Yeah. So we have a lot of different lead types. So we do have an option where you have open access just to see what we got. Like, we have like over 130,000 leads in inventory right now across the country. So I think we're in like 43 states or something like that. Wow. We've got 130,000 leads. I would say 90% of those, or maybe more, is direct mail.
Yeah.
We have a combination of fresh, brand new leads. We have a combination of much more economical, gently used leads, as we like to call it. Just
I like gently used. I like that.
Used by the original purchasing agent only. Yeah. And
I've heard of companies calling them like certified pre-owned, or like just.
There you go. Yeah, that's one way we refer to it. But that's what, I've seen people write $20,000, $30,000 off those, and direct mail, it's got a great shelf life. So, but so the process is like, we can get people direct mail, especially these first few weeks when they just want to try us out, see if our quality of leads is any good. And then maybe that'll lead to a more fruitful relationship down the road. But, a hugely discounted amount for the first few weeks for direct mail. But basically the process would be just schedule time on my calendar, talk to you a little bit, see if it makes sense to, in the correct areas, to test out some leads that we've got. And we just get them distributed to you. It can be in many different forms. We can create a portal on our, create you a portal on our lead portal and get you leads that way. Or it's just PDF and, spreadsheet of the leads. It's that simple.
I love it. It's awesome. I appreciate you coming on to talk about it and being willing to share this excess. Obviously, it has the ability to help a bunch of agents and agencies while helping you guys get rid of some overflow that you don't need, which is cool too. And all those people that are responding still need help, which is really cool. And you're trying to get creative to make sure they get the help they requested.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. That's awesome, man. Thanks for going through this with us, and look forward to seeing who we can help out.
I love it. Thank you, Nick. Okay. Appreciate you guys joining. Thank you for listening to the Power Player podcast. Again, link below to jump on Nick's calendar to talk about excess final expense direct mail leads, which are still phenomenal and king. Let me know how these goes. I'm excited for those that try it out. Give me some feedback on everything goes with Nick. Look forward to you selling some premium and having some success and helping some clients. We will see you on the next episode. Adios.
Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're going to love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there.
I'm so excited for today's CA Power Player podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins. We got a special guest. He is back on the channel talking about how to sell life insurance from home. Here's what I love about this person. Okay, I'm telling you, this will be one of the best.